Hello, it's Mr. Me No Name, whatever. That's just the name of my account. And we've all seen this guy. We have all seen this guy. Pretty base guy. I've been really, sick and tired of having a politically correct opinion. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with inundated with the correct opinion of the day. I've been watching his stuff. I've been playing CSGO in the background. Here we go. Hassan is 540% done, 100% done, 600% done. I think at this point, Hassan Piker is just 1,000% done. It was also this one. I've been watching his clips, and I've been getting a little ticked in the background. I'm really happy to see somebody who's saying retarded unapologetically. I really missed the word retarded. But anyways, Mr. Beast one, I saw this one, not a single thing about him going to jail. It was fucked up. Where is it? If you go back in the video, there was this one part where fucking recording this dude's like a breakdown. I don't know. I keep rewatching these, so I don't know where I'm actually in the video, but it's just like, bro. It's like clickbait, I respect the grinds, but it's starting to feel like, everybody's a grifter. It's starting to feel like everybody is a grifter, and I think it was this video.
Socialist, communist, these are his people.
Fucking back and forth in this video. And, based freaking opinion, now for my next act, I'll make all Democrats defend Iran. I get it. I've been watching him, and I now know, I haven't been checked in. I have not been checked in to politics. So my news anchor is Nuxanor, and I now know that the Iran sends kids onto sand dunes or whatever because they can't carry the weapons. So they get sent out into the sand dunes to clear the mines. Suicide death cult. Iran, I get it. They are a suicide death cult, and I don't know why. It really highlights how, the Democratic Party, our party, is just so anti-Trump that they can't just, point out a W. They cannot point out a W. Let me go back here. I don't know which video it was. It was probably like these when Iran bombed us immediately and found out. But some of these, I would say now I'm more pro-America. I don't know. There's just been this mind bug of hating America. The retard Hassan. Finally I'm gonna say it, retard Hassan. It's really fun to say retard. Hassan, Diddy, Epstein, Piker, supporter of blah blah blah. Hassan's big whack-a-mole. I'm like, this was the briefing, super based, absolutely based about how America was able to do that. Bomb Iran, really amazing mission. And, I just got to point out, they can't have nuclear weapons. So, they cannot have nuclear weapons.
Socialist, communist, these are his people.
Okay, that clip went open. They can't have nuclear weapons. They had 60%, over 60% refined or whatever uranium, and only 3% is needed. I get that. So they should be, they got the slap on the wrist. And, CNN and all the other people said, they didn't destroy it, or it wasn't destroyed enough. That's kind of dumb. Like, can we accept a W? And I saw on Nuxanor's channel, they're accepting the W now today, but it just really highlights the dumb brain bug that's been going around with people just trying to be politically correct, and it's exhausting. So watching Nuxanor, real breath of fresh air. But he claims to be a Jewish, and he just says these little small things that are really weird, and it's been ticking me over time. Just these little small, like, really radical ideas. I'll get moved, I'll listen to ideas, but this guy seems like he has a higher power level than what he leads on. And it was just this part in this video that I was watching. I think it's 16 minutes in, where it's just like, bro, no.
Really good argument for why the N-word needs to come back.
No, I literally freaking stopped on it. Okay, yeah, here's the clip.
Hello. Just, how everyone calls Asmongold like a neo-Nazi and shit?
I've been watching Asmongold. I saw Asmongold, and when I started to actually listen to his content, guy's fucking retarded. He has some based takes here and there, but it's very clear that, he's in his shoebox. Whatever.
He's right. They're wrong. These people suck. All right? They suck. I have no respect for them. Literally. Your victim Olympics bullshit's not going to work for.
You know, the victim Olympics, he talks about this a lot. You know, it's pretty retarded. I get it. You know, I come from an underrepresented background, but I don't go around fucking talking about it, okay? You know, I got my degree. I did everything. Despite all, you know, I pushed through the bullshit. And, you know, America is pretty awesome for doing that.
For me, I think that she makes a good argument for why we should be bringing back the N-word.
No. No, there is no good argument. Like, you know, there's this thing where he talks about words and shit like that. You know, I think we just forget that words have context. And, you know, when we say things, they mean things, and he knows this, and he said this. I've heard him say it. Words mean things. Like he said, and I quote, I remember it, you know, when you go into Burger King or whatever, McDonald's, you say, I want a burger. You don't get, I want brown beef. No, you say you want the burger. And you know what these words mean, and they mean things. And you're just going to say shit like that without the history or context. Like, be better, dude. Have morals. Be better. Claiming to be about God and shit, dude, just be better.
I am just saying, I don't want to be rude, not trying to step on any toes here.
Okay, and you know what's the funniest thing about this? Not even 20 seconds earlier, you know, proclaimed Jewish guy right here, proclaimed Jewish guy, you know, he makes a bunch of Jewish jokes. Listen to this. Cuck on the left, you know, cuck on the left, and neo-Nazi on the right. You know, really interesting comparison here. So here we go.
Obviously, this is the left, Democrats. Right, we'll call them the Democrats, and here's the Republicans. All right, so on the extremes on both sides over here, you get the cucks on the far left, and you get the neo-Nazis on the far right. So you see, like, iDubbbz obviously shows.
So cuck here, cuck is not even like it's bad. You know, it's so bad, like being a cuck. But it's like not even apples to oranges here. Cuck and neo-Nazi. I know what he's trying to use, but maybe he couldn't like come up with one. Because what do we have? We have anarchists for far left. But here we have cuck, just somebody who watches, you know, whatever. I don't need to explain it.
Shows up over here. Now, same with Hassan. Nazis on the far right. So you see, like, iDubbbz obviously shows up over here.
Yeah, iDubbbz fucking cuck. You know, I lost all respect for him. I used to watch him in Filthy Frank all day. Fucking hair cake. Loved that shit. You know, I come from a very edgy background. You know, I was one of those guys who grew up watching Ethan. Now, Ethan, I don't know what happened with Hila and that shit. Dumbass drama. But, you know, all my favorite creators became freaking, I'll say it, retards. You know, I love saying that word now. You know, Nuxanor, big ups for bringing that back, but like, okay, I'm just gonna let this go
here. Now, same with Hassan. He is also in the cuck range because he supports terrorists. He watches terrorists do crimes. It's pretty crazy. So now the reason why I had to show this to you is because if I am here, every time I hear Whoopi Goldberg talking about how black people are more oppressed than fucking people in Iran, I am moving closer to the neo-Nazi pipe.
No, what are you talking about, my bro? No, that's not how it works. It's just not how it works. That doesn't make any sense. Like, it just being apologetic to neo-Nazis, proclaimed Jewish person. You know, I heard the story. It's somewhere like literally near the fucking end of the video where he's literally just like, you know, I'm big America, you know, big ups to America. I love America. But, you know, he's talking about like, you know, my Jewish dad who survived the Holocaust came here, blah, 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 bootstraps type shit, you know, awesome. But he's like, he makes so many Jewish jokes and so many misogynistic jokes, just talking about how women shouldn't be able to vote, and then backtracks and says, guys, it was a joke, guys. And then, you know, there's this clip. Here's the next fucking clip. I was fucking listening to this on the bus because I love watching Nuxanor. Voice is cool character, cool vibes, bass takes, you know, really refreshing shit. But it's just this shit that it's like, why can't anybody just truly be in the fucking center? Like,
yeah, that he gets excited about. By the way, the guy that made this video, Think Before You Sleep, of course I'll link him in the description.
Think Before You Sleep. Some good videos. I think my last impression of him was definitely incel vibes. That's all I remember. I don't know if that's true. Someone can correct me, but that's all I remember. You know, I used to watch his shit all the time, and then I just got this inkling. That maybe this guy's just an incel. Anyways.
He messaged me about the Hassan segment, and he was like, all right, I need to understand, how bad are these terrorist organizations? And I'm like,
because he says it, you know, I feel Nuxanor would be an amazing news anchor, because you know how news anchors, they're always like, they have to repeat segments. Like Nuxanor just has these lines. Like, I memorize them because I watch all of his shit. Line 1, Hassan, Diddy show, Germany, sex trafficking, PD file. He literally, Hassan literally supports all terrorist groups. He's anti-America, this, that. Kids sweeping mines on the desert floors because they couldn't carry weapons. Just back and forth, you know. He really just repeats himself. So when you start watching him, and I've been really watching him like back to back, you know, it just seems like I'm watching a news segment because every stream is the same. Shit on Hassan, and honestly, fuck Hassan. You know, honestly, if this guy is putting down Hassan, 100% with it. But there's just these things he says. Let me fucking play the clip. Let me just play it.
Bad. Actually, a dope flag.
I don't know flags.
It's this is a.
You know what? I'm gonna be brave.
Come on.
My favorite flag.
It's got an AK on it and a fucking hand holding it up. Wow.
Son.
Yeah, look at how bad this is. Also a shitty flag. Like,
It's bad. It's a bad flag. Okay, like what the fuck is on? Okay, that's retarded. Okay.
this is not.
And now we're gonna go to see
Cool.
his comparison joke. This is his comparison joke. Look at this.
Yeah, sick terrorist flag, dude. Isn't it so
terrorism based. Yeah.
cool? This is basically
Favorite flag, guys. This is my favorite flag. All right, you're asking me about. This is purely about the flag, right? This is purely about the flag. Can I show you my favorite flag, dude? Check this out. This is my favorite flag. Oh, it's just, dude. Oh, look how fucking based this.
Need I say anything more? Like, it's a joke. It's a joke, dude. It's always a fucking joke, dude. It's always a joke. It's always a joke. And then you just get desensitized to it. And then maybe it's not a joke anymore. You know, I really thought I found like a really centrist YouTuber. Probably still gonna keep watching him because he uploads twice a day. Fuck yeah. And freaking cool voice. I don't care. I really don't care. But I just want to just have this awareness that, like, bro, what the actual fuck? This guy is low-key neo-Nazi energy. Maybe he's Jewish, but it's whatever. It's kind of just like the Supreme Court guy. We're just having Uncle Tom. He's black, the proclaimed black person. What is it? Like the proclaimed, you're black person. What is it? We're going to look up Kanye PDF rant. Freaking first thing, my Kanye PDF rant.
People be doing shit behind my back.
You'd be like, I have black friends. The so-called black friend.
My issue with Jim was we working on clothes. I said,
like, need I say more? Like, I don't understand. Whatever, I digress. That's it. Whatever. Peace.